Here we go. What is going on, everyone? Happy Thursday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts, and today, like every single weekday, we are coming at you from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily live show. Today's content features Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang have flipped and snitched on Sam Bankman-Fried. Speaking of Sam, he is in the U.S., and we're going to cover that whole scenario. Also, Gary Gensler has spoken. We'll cover that. And then we'll cover a lot more things as well. But before we can cover that and a lot more things, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, here at Sin City Crypto, we also freak out when Bitcoin drops.
Hold on.
16.6.
Hey, hold on.
What's up?
There is a new way to check the price of Bitcoin. You guys ready? Check this out. All right, we're on Twitter, right? Twitter search. You go Bitcoin. Look at that, bro.
That's it, huh?
That's it. They just implemented that for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Are you surprised, Robin? Here, I'll show you. We'll try Elon's favorite, Dogecoin. Are you surprised that Dogecoin does not have one of those? I'm kind of shocked.
Huh?
Yeah.
What if you just type in Doge?
I don't think so. Nope. Has Elon betrayed the Doge community? Is he no longer the Doge father? Dad? Put a 1 in the chat if he's not the Doge father. Put a 2 if he still is. Speaking of Elon, he did run a poll, of course, saying he would resign as Twitter CEO. He's a little off the hinges, bro. But people love him.
I feel like the sad thing is I feel like he is gonna hold true to that, right?
He should. I mean,
I think he will.
You can't say I'm going to abide by the results of this poll.
Now, here's my thought here on this is that, well, one, he's going against government, the FBI, the CIA, by releasing all these Twitter files and putting the government and its agencies
on blast
for censoring media, and also paying social media companies to promote essentially and silence certain news sources that are favorable to certain political parties.
Isn't that crazy that the FBI was paying Twitter?
Like, first of all, that's illegal. I just to throw that out there. That's illegal.
So who's supposed to hold them accountable? The CIA?
We'll see if anybody does. And so my question is Twitter is full of bots that get bought, right? I mean, there was a number that it was almost 30% of Twitter, 40% of Twitter. When you remember when Elon Musk was trying to buy Twitter,
yeah,
he was saying that 30-40% of Twitter is bots. And so, who controls bots? Right, the money, right? Essentially,
computers control bots.
Yeah,
but yes,
but computers are those bots are influenced by money and power, right?
Correct.
And so, if you look at the track record, money and power has influenced certain political agendas. And so if you're attacking the political machine, which Elon Musk is, what do you think the self-defense mechanism is going to be for
He's more than attacking.
But what is the self-defense for the political platform? It is bots. And so who took that survey? Who said yes, he should retire?
Yeah, it was probably weird.
Majority of those votes probably came from bots, and those bots probably came from the government.
You know what's crazy? Someone put something up to where you can buy votes through bots.
That's
on
what I'm
this
saying.
But
So you don't think the politicians are like, yo, this dude Elon, he's dangerous for us right now.
He's like Edward
putting us
Snowden,
on blast.
kind of, right?
He just put out a poll saying that he should,
resign.
Should he resign? Yes or no?
You wanna hear
They freaking unleashed the bots, had them all vote yes to get dude out of power.
You don't
think that's like? Do you think that's conspiracy theory, like tinfoil hat, or do you think that's legitimate?
Look, honestly, can you really say? I mean, we've seen so many people who gotten shunned for being conspiracy theorists, and they've come true. And so I'm the kind of person that, if you have some crazy thought, I will definitely give it. I'll give it the time of day to think about it. But
I don't think it's that crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not that crazy.
And I'm not even.
I think it's actually
I'm not even the conspiracy theory guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm usually I try to keep myself grounded, realistic. I try to, look at evidence and I try not to jump to conclusions because a narrative fits a convenient story. And so, but I'm just saying that, come on, man, we know that Twitter was run, a lot of Twitter was influenced and run by bots, and the bots are controlled by the government, and he's attacking the government.
It's official, by the way.
What's that?
He officially resigned yesterday.
Really?
As CEO of Twitter, yeah.
He didn't.
You guys see Marky Mark put in the chat $250 million bail for Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yeah, I was going to pull that up next. Yeah. That's crazy. Damn, so this fool resigned. You know what's crazier than him resigning is Elizabeth Warren.
Is that a
This is from, yeah, bro.
no,
This is a story from Luke Olinga. Doesn't get much. Well, you don't believe the story?
No, give me a real news source.
What do you mean? The Street is a news source.
It's not.
It's headline.
I heard it on the streets.
Look, all I know is...
No, I'm not saying he didn't, but...
Here, let's look together. Elon Musk resigned.
I don't know. I watched the news this morning. I feel like that would have been front and center.
The Street, The Verge. Elon Musk is looking for a new Twitter CEO. Okay,
That ain't happened. And he went on Twitter yesterday or the day before. He also said that he went on Twitter the day before and he said he would not resign until he found an adequate replacement.
Yeah,
and so he's not gonna just up and just throw his hands up. So, yeah, that Street, whatever that, they're BS, bro.
You know what's crazy? Is Elizabeth Warren sent out a letter to Tesla investors asking them, has your investment been harmed? Has your investment in Tesla been harmed because of what Elon's been doing with Twitter? So they're coming after the guy. You start exposing politicians and the government.
Ain't nobody worried about Elizabeth Warren.
Huh?
Ain't nobody worried about Elizabeth Warren and her narratives.
I mean, she's got power. She's the chair of the financial whatever oversight committee or something. I'm trying to find this article. Well, look, I'm going to ask Robin to find the article on Sam being out on bail, and then we're just going to jump right in. We're going to start with a statement from the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams on the U.S. versus Sam Bankman-Fried, Caroline Ellison, and Gary Wang from the Southern District of New York. So here is their official statement after Sam was brought to the U.S.
Last week, we announced charges against Samuel Bankman-Fried for a sweeping fraud scheme that contributed to FTX's collapse, and for a campaign finance scheme that sought to influence public policy in Washington. As I said last week, this investigation is very much ongoing, and it's moving very quickly. I also said that last week's announcement would not be our last, and let me be clear once again, neither is today's. I want to make two announcements. First, I'm announcing that the Southern District of New York has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, a co-founder of FTX, in connection with their roles in the frauds that contributed to FTX's collapse. Both Ms. Ellison and Mr. Wang have pled guilty to those charges, and they are both cooperating with the Southern District of New York. Let me reiterate a call that I made last week. If you participated in misconduct at FTX or Alameda, Now is the time to get ahead of it. We are moving quickly, and our patience is not eternal. Second, I'm announcing that Samuel Bankman-Fried is now in FBI custody and is on his way back to the United States. He will be transported directly to the Southern District of New York, and he will appear in court before a judge in this district as soon as possible. Many individuals in the Bahamas and in the United States contributed to the swiftness of the defendant's return, and I want to thank the Bahamas for its outstanding assistance and excellent coordination with us. I also want to thank our partners at the United States Embassy in the Bahamas and the Justice Department's Office of International Affairs. And finally, I want to thank the FBI for moving mountains to get this done. This was a true team effort. Finally, I want to thank the career prosecutors from my office who are handling this case. We continue to work around the clock, and we are far from done. Thank you.
He hasn't went before a judge yet to for bail. So
I wonder where that breaking news was from. Maybe it was. So obviously we have this guy speaking. You also had the leader of the Securities and Exchange Commission, who also chimed in, had to get his kudos. Gary Gensler said, until and he retweeted the official SEC Twitter saying, today the SEC charged Caroline and Gary for their roles in the multi-year scheme to defraud equity investors. He retweeted that and said, until crypto platforms comply with time-tested securities laws, risks to investors will persist. It remains a priority of the SEC to use all of our available tools to bring the industry into compliance, to which there was a couple interesting responses. One was from John Deaton. 1 year ago, you wouldn't meet with Brian Armstrong at Coinbase, but chose instead to threaten to sue. 95% of crypto companies were established outside of the U.S. because you refuse to give guidance. You are the number one threat to U.S. investors. And Library, if you remember Library, they just lost the case against the SEC. They said, we'll give you the $20 million you're demanding of us if you reply with a clear explanation of how to launch a public blockchain in the U.S. This is a serious offer. Are those fair criticisms, Robin?
yeah, I mean, it's if I was Library, I would be pissed off because obviously you got picked on. And I'm still in the camp that the only reason they went after Library is because they didn't have the capital to defend themselves in the way that these larger companies will. So the SEC wanted to get a victory under their belt, and hey, why not go after somebody small? So yeah, that's where I stand. I think it's all hypocritical from top to bottom. I think that the only reason they went after Library, and Library should be pissed. And then especially looking at the environment we're at now,
demanding $20 million,
where the company you're sitting there having meetings with is the biggest fraud in financial history at this moment, as far as how much money was involved. Well, actually, Wells Fargo got y'all beat, but
I don't know, did they?
Yeah, they affected. It was like some crazy amount of billions of dollars. I don't know what's the Wells Fargo.
Well, they settled for 3.7. So I guess
but the amount of people and money that was affected from the Wells Fargo.
Let me ask you this question, Robin. Do you think it's possible to get any sort of investor protection or regulatory kind of, understanding of what to expect, how to launch a public blockchain, like Library said, with Gary Gensler at the helm, or you think he needs to go?
I think if he's going to stay there, at the end of the day, they just need to make some kind of progress on transparency on this regulation. Because they sit here and talk about come in and get registered with the SEC, whatever it is. But what does that application look like? Who comes down there? What are the requirements? What are you signing up for? Nobody knows.
Well, here's what
nobody knows.
A lot of people are saying they'll go down there and then they'll just get hit with subpoenas and fines and this and that.
Perhaps. I mean, I would be nervous to go down there and then sit in front of the SEC. They're like, hey,
like a bait and switch.
All of this needs to be labeled as securities, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you know what? This isn't a good deal. And you walk away and they're like, put him on the list. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I feel like you would have a target on your back if you went down to registered with the SEC and then you look at it, you're like, yo, this isn't even fair for our industry. I don't have any interest in signing up for this. And if that's the case and you walk away from a deal, they're going to feel scorned and betrayed, and they're going to probably go after you. So I don't blame anybody for not going there, man. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, at the most basic value, just start by regulating the centralized entities that operate as custodial agents. Just put in a framework where, hey,
Well,
you
Gary
want
says
you
the
want a
framework's already there.
custody?
Gary says it's already there.
No, it's not.
That's what he says.
No. And if you wanna regulate, you know what I mean? Like if you want to custody Bitcoin as an example, put in a framework that demands transparency and accountability for Bitcoin through audits. And that's it. And then have that be for all assets. Start there. And then you want to regulate cryptos. Maybe just start with the stable coin.
But here's the problem.
And then that's it. Just,
okay, Robin. You're saying, okay, that sounds good. But how do these exchanges know what they can and can't list?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about list. I'm talking about accountability for custodial assets. Start there. Stop worrying about what's a security, what's whatever. In the same way that if there was a company that was custodying gold and they're like, hey, we're gonna hold your gold. Let's just say you go out, everybody here's got gold bars. Let's just say we have physical gold bars. You're sitting there, you're holding gold, and you go to a company and you're like, yo, can you store my gold bars? And they go and they melt it all down, make jewelry out of it, and then their business fails and everybody's out of their gold. Like that's illegal. And there's protocol that says, hey, if you're gonna custody my commodity, that you need to be transparent and there needs to be accountability for it. This is normal business practice. But this business idea, this accountability is not there for the simple fact that they want to deem things as securities and whatever. And then they bring in margin. Just start with the basics. Let's get a couple things done. Hold people accountable that are because at the end of the day, yes, we'll use hardware wallets, but let's be real. The next bull run that comes in, the average investor, the lady that's waiting tables that has no experience in crypto, she ain't gonna buy no hardware wallet.
Yeah.
She's just gonna put some money on an exchange,
entry, guys.
and she's just gonna pull the trigger. Whatever commercial she sees, she's probably gonna go for, and that's not safe. And so at the end of the day, let's just start there. You buy crypto, somebody holds it. Let's make sure that if it's let's make sure that it's there. Let's lay the groundwork. Just lay the groundwork.
There's a couple issues I want to address with the chat. First, we have two HPs. We have the OG HP, which is Hedge Pro. We also have HP Lightning. So I am recommending we have HP for the Hedge Pro and HPL for HP with the Lightning Bolt. What do you guys think? You like that, Rob?
Sure.
Okay. Also, I want to know what the chat thinks. Do you guys think it's possible to move forward as an industry with Gary Gensler at the helm of the SEC, or does he need to go? Do we need to see a change before we can move forward? Or you think it can happen through legislation and him being forced, or him just all of a sudden coming around? Put a 1 if you think we can do it with Gary. Put a 2 if you think Gary has to go. 1, we can do it with Gary. 2, he has to go. Let's move on to kind of discuss and go over the Caroline and Sam and all the homies.
Real quick, right before we just dive into that, I just want to give a little bit of love to the chat here. A few new people that we have with us today. We got Deborah C. Eli. We also have Jansel, Mining, Stacker, Carlitos. And then we got Lo as well and Jessica. And then first in the chat, we got Greg P. Turner. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
You say Jansel?
Yeah.
Jansel Claudio?
Yeah.
What's up, Jansel? How you doing, bro?
And if you're new here, say hello. That we can drop an hola. That's an hola without the H. And we also got a couple last minute. We got the Cryptic Mushroom, One Hit a Quitter, The Great, and Crunk C as well joining in here with us. And Newfound Naturals. Hola!
Well, a lot of 2s. A lot of people think Gary needs to go. T. Holmes, Gary the Gun, yes.
And Randy R as well, new here as well.
That was love the shirt, Rob. I know. It's a good-looking guy on that shirt. You feel me? The best shirt you have, Robin. I'm proud of you, buddy. What do you think about my shirt? You guys like my shirt?
ETH
Racer. Also, Randy Raya is very new. Golden
What
Knights.
about my shirt, huh?
Yeah, that's
Big
cool.
dub yesterday.
Hey, you don't have muscles. Stop throwing. Yeah.
You know I do.
Kind. So, all right. Let's get back to the content here, my friends. Again, if you're new here, say hello. We like to welcome you. So this is from CoinDesk. Caroline Ellison plea agreement, $250,000 bail, surrender of travel documents, and forfeiture of assets. Caroline Ellison will not be allowed to leave the continental United States and must forfeit any proceeds derived from the commission of the offenses that she has been charged with. The agreement states that if Ellison fully cooperates with the Southern District of New York's investigation, as well as any other law enforcement agency designated by the office, she won't be further prosecuted criminally, except for possible criminal tax violation with regard to the wire and commodity fraud charges. A court would need to agree to the plea deal for it to go into effect, so it's not done and over with yet. She will be permitted bail, provided she can give $250K, personal whatever that's called, bond. The plea deal also contains language that says if Caroline is not a U.S. citizen, it is very likely that her removal from the U.S. will be mandatory. Now, everyone assuming she's a citizen, but she might have abandoned her citizenship for convenience of tax reasons. Some countries, to have citizenship there, you have to denounce, let's say you can't have more than 2 or 3. Some places only allow you to have 1 country of citizenship. And so she might have gone to a country with like, hey, you can only be citizen of this country. She was like, all right, screw it. I'll give up my citizenship.
Before we get into this article, man, that's some crazy. Man, why are you going to denounce yours just to save some money on taxes, man? That's when you know you cheap.
Okay, but on a large scale, it could be millions of dollars a year.
I get it. I understand the reasoning. I'm not saying that there's no just cause for it. I'm just saying that, bruh, like if you make that much money and you can't come across, you can't part ways with taxes, like, and you gotta to the point to where you gotta denounce your heritage, like that's crazy to me, bro.
True Say Crypto says she wishes she had a stop loss on that plea deal. I'm sure she did. You remember, you said she doesn't use stop losses because they're not effective. So there you go, Caroline.
She did say that on an interview.
She did say that on an interview. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's keep this thing moving. We have an article from Market Watch, kind of going over a little bit of the same stuff, but on the same day that Sam was extradited, Caroline and Gary were charged with the fraud charges. They were charged for their roles in contributing to FTX's collapse. The pair each faced decades-long prison sentences if convicted and pleaded guilty to charges that included wire fraud, securities fraud, and commodities fraud in exchange for leniency. Prosecutors said the plea agreement was signed on December 19th, but kept a secret. So that picture of Caroline at that coffee shop in New York, a lot of people were saying, well, that's 2 blocks away from the FBI office. And everyone's like, well, that's what she was doing. So those conspiracy theorists, they were right. They were right. Every once in a while, even the craziest things.
When a ship is on fire, the first to jump off the ship are the rats.
This is true.
I'm just saying that, like, first off, bro.
Yeah. Mike Warren, what's up, gentlemen? What's up, Mike? I don't think I've seen Mike in here. Welcome to.
He's been here before. Welcome back, brother.
So, go ahead. You want to comment on the?
So it's just okay. First of all, are you surprised?
Surprised at what part?
So, well, first of all, that they flipped on SBF.
Okay, so I'm kind of in the boat that obviously not surprised Caroline flipped, but Gary, everyone thought he was gone, right? Everyone thought Gary was gone, never to be heard of. I mean, we haven't even seen a picture of Gary. The only picture anyone's seen of Gary is with his back turned, facing a computer, and a picture from the back. Can't even see his face. So,
well, what's interesting is that I know everyone wanted to paint Caroline as because she was the CEO of Alameda. Everyone wanted to point the finger at her and put all the blame on her. Did she do wrong? Absolutely. Was she ripe with fraud? Sure thing. The thing is she was there for less than a year, and the company's been operating for 3 years now. And so it's not like she came in and was like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We got a new protocol we're going to roll out here, and it's going to be called fraud and theft. No, she just took over somebody else's fraud and theft program. And, she probably, maybe she went into it thinking it was a legit business, right? I'm just saying that.
I mean,
even if she didn't, it doesn't really matter. Even if she did go in and thought it was a legit business, she ended up knowingly frauding people and knowingly stealing. So
she could have said something.
Yeah, so whatever. But I'm just saying, maybe hypothetically speaking, she was like, "Oh, Alameda Research, that's a big company. Like, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried, he seems like a stand-up guy." The same way that a lot of people thought the same thing, and then maybe she went in there and you know, slowly moved over. But all I'm saying here, where I'm getting at, is that she didn't create that monster. She just fed it, right? And so when it's time to fall on the sword, it wasn't her plan. It wasn't her company that she built. It wasn't what she, you know, it wasn't her grand scheme. She just took the driver's seat. And so she should be held accountable, yes. But when it comes to accountability for like whose fault is it? She didn't build that company. She just ran it.
She's complicit.
So
She's complicit.
Now that she's facing 110 years in prison, 110 years in prison with 7 federal charges. You think about it. We're like, yo, I just came in there. I took the job. I thought it was legit. Next thing you know, it wasn't that. And, you know, I just went along with it. And was I wrong? Yes. But you know what? 110 years, like this was somebody else's doing. This was somebody else's project. This was somebody else's company. This was the way it was run before I got there. And you know what? I don't want to spend 110 years in there. And so she's taking a plea deal.
Well,
supposedly, what's his name? The lawyer from that always talks about XRP. What's his name?
Deaton.
What's that?
John Deaton.
No, it's like Brad something.
Brad. Oh no. Okay. While you're looking that up,
so
we have breaking news.
What's up?
It is true. $250 million bail.
Oh dang!
Where did that money come from, guys? Yeah,
He only had $100K
His parents, bro.
in the bank, huh?
but everyone was saying his parents were broke too. I don't know, man. This is why I've said I'm sorry. We have a poll going. Please feel free. Is he going to
I
get?
closed it.
You closed it. What were the
Yeah.
results?
Hold on.
All right. While he finds that, we had a poll. Is he going to serve less than 3 years, 3 to 10 years, or more than 10 years, or no time at all?
Who's Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably gonna spend at least 30, 40 years.
That's a ridiculous. I mean, $250
He's
million
facing
for bail.
100+ years, man. And on top of that, not only is he spending 100+ years, but he's also has more charges that are over his head that they haven't even filed yet. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if they wanted to throw another 50 years on him, they could. They charged Caroline with 7 charges. They charged Sam Bankman-Fried with 6. So don't think for a second that he ain't gonna spend 3 years in jail. The minimum sentence, I don't know what the minimum sentence is, but the minimum sentence is 10+. And so he ain't gonna get the minimum.
Rob, do you think
Everybody's flipping on him? They're giving the breaks. That he's the big fish. He's gonna be the one.
You think he's gonna disappear?
He's you know what prison he's gonna be at?
He's not out on bail, bro.
No, I'm saying. Do you know?
Yeah, federal maximum prison.
No, but what I'm saying is, do you know what jail he was in right now? I know he's on bail, but
Straight to jail.
was the
Jail.
the one that Epstein died
You
at?
eat fish?
Of
Straight
course,
to jail.
of course he was. Surprised he made it up.
I have the results real quick.
Yeah.
3 to 10 years, 37%. So the majority of people think 3 to 10 years.
Okay.
32% life. Less than 3 years, 15%, and no time was 13%.
No time includes he becomes
Gets Epstein.
convinced that when he gets Epstein. Yeah. Look, I have. We see time and time again, people with money, celebrities, they always get favorable treatment in the courts, man. And especially with this guy's ties to Gary Gensler, the Fed, Democrats, Republicans.
He ain't gonna get favorable.
I'm skeptical. That's it. I'm just skeptical, bro.
Plea deal 6 to 10 for Caroline.
I'm just skeptical.
So
man.
so think about it. Plea deal 6 to 10 for Caroline. Years. And you don't
who
think
says he doesn't get a plea deal to bring the entire crypto?
what plea deal? Who's he gonna flip?
This is what Tether's doing. This is what Binance is doing. This is what Brian Armstrong's doing.
Well,
is that not?
Dude,
Is that not?
stop.
You
No.
don't think that? You don't? Okay, hold on. You don't think that's even a possibility?
no,
Why?
no
Why?
possibility.
Why? You don't think the U.S. government is gonna, or at least the SEC would rather have the entire the crypto market versus just one person?
Look, they're trying to hold the accountability for $8 billion being lost of customer funds. So that has nothing to do with Coinbase. So
You're an idealist, bro. You are
it's
an idealist.
not an idealist. $8 billion are gone. They're trying to hold it accountable. You're trying to blame $8 billion being lost to
Did
Coinbase?
anyone from Wells Fargo go to jail, Robin, or did they just pay a fine?
Wait, how many people from the Great Financial Crisis went to jail?
Exactly.
Now, I don't know what the charges were for Wells Fargo, but it wasn't the theft and
Taking money out of people's accounts is not theft.
They didn't take people money. Okay, you know what Wells Fargo did? I mean, do you know?
Yeah, the overdraft fees, the fake accounts they created. They
didn't create fake accounts. They just created accounts for people that didn't want them. And so people had real accounts. You went in to go fill in, and then you were incentivized. They upsold the crap out of you. Their entire business model was to upsell,
and they were charging people BS fees.
If anything, if you're running a business, like what are you supposed to do? You're like, hey, how can we generate more business? Let's get everybody a savings account. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, what Wells Fargo did was it ain't a good look. Put it that way. Opening up savings accounts and checking accounts and doing all this for people that don't need them. But at the end of the day, that is completely different than just straight taking people's money and going buying mansions and then running around living a lavish lifestyle in the Bahamas and just literally having disregard for monetary. Like Wells Fargo, like you're trash. I don't like the banks. You know I hate the banks. I absolutely hate the banks. But
why do you
completely different? They're just mismanaged as far as how they structure their business, ethics, and just offering products that people have. But you know what? You go to JCPenney, you go to Macy's, whatever it is. They always try to sign you up for the credit card. Do you need it? Are you mad? Should we cancel JCPenney because they offer me a credit card I don't need?
But they didn't just offer. It's like they would have just opened one up for you. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from this. Okay. You're a logical thinker. You take both sides, which is good, and you're kind of an idealist a little bit sometimes.
There's no way.
I'm more of an outside the box.
There's no way on earth Sam Bankman-Fried is going to get a plea deal unless there is some puppet master that is like the vice president or something of the country. Like outside of something so bonkers like that we don't know.
Would anything surprise you, Robin? Be honest. Would anything surprise you?
Anything outside of him going to jail or getting a plea deal, yes, that would surprise me. Because there's no way.
You're crazy.
He's literally the head honcho. He's the head of the snake, and the snake is FTX, and it's $8 billion hole that is gone. They literally just took people's money. They said, hey, thanks for depositing. I'm going to go buy a new house. Hey, thanks for depositing. I'm going to send this to my dad so he can buy a new house. That's where the money went. That's illegal. He's going to be held accountable. End of story. Coinbase and other crypto has nothing to do with that.
Robin, our chat has an interesting theory. Okay, so Quadriga CX, right? You know about the Canadian one, the guy who died with the private keys. Okay, Bitcoin moves. First time in 3-4 years, person was supposed to be dead, and now people are saying, could there be a connection between FTX and
Very
Sam?
possible. That I will not fight you on that because
so that you won't fight us on. But the fact that Gary Gensler or whoever might try.
The Justice Department is not going to work on a plea deal for what? What did Coinbase is a publicly traded company. And what on earth?
Maybe not Coinbase, maybe Binance.
What
maybe
on earth?
Binance.
You
like
Brian Armstrong, he could flip Brian. Give me one example.
Robin,
one example
what happened? Have you ever seen
Brian Armstrong has any connection?
Take Brian Armstrong away. What about Binance and CZ? Have you seen the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington?
Oh, there's
he
a
flipped.
spotlight.
He murdered multiple people.
There's a spotlight on CZ. Yes. Now, is there going to be a plea deal? No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Not for CZ.
Okay.
But he can probably be in there and be like, hey, it's all CZ's fault. He did this. They're also doing illegal stuff over there. I'm sure they're probably like, okay, cool. We'll write that down, but you still going to do some time, bro. You still going to do massive time.
Oh no, man. Oh no. But I love our community for the conspiracy theories. You guys keep bringing them because I will entertain them. Nothing is too crazy. Unless you're talking about Robin saying "I love you" to anyone but his bird, then yes, it is crazy.
You know what I also love? I also love the likes. Guys, this like sign, in the spirit of Christmas, it falls apart with the lack of likes. And with the more like buttons, it gains power. Why do we only got 80 likes and over 240 people in the chat? That's less than 33%. That's
Guys,
less than 1/3.
Help us,
What
please.
are y'all doing, man? Do you not like the show? Do you not like his kooky ass freaking conspiracy theories? Do you not like my shirt? Because if you do, if you're driving down the street right now, pull over. Put the hazard lights on.
Stop. Okay, stop.
Hit the like
Jesus
button.
Christ.
If you're in the chat, close the chat for a second.
Don't pull
hit the
over.
like button, pull it back up. Thank you. When we get to
Robert
350 people, we're going to open up the club. We haven't opened up the club in a while.
Robert
Can we get to
Vermouth.
350 people?
Robert Vermouth said U.S. has no jurisdiction on Binance. And I'm not a legal expert, Robert, but I think if they can prove that funds are being commingled from Binance to Binance.us, now it could fall into their jurisdiction. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a lawyer. Who knows? All right. We're talking about Sam getting preferential treatment, right? Everyone was like, oh, he's in the Bahamas. He's in the worst jail in the world. He was in a specific subset of the worst jail in the world because he received special treatment inside the Yale. Bankman-Fried was held in the sick bay.
Why you do that?
Where he had access to a toilet, running water, a TV, local newspapers, crossword puzzles, and many other perks, including vegan food.
You know it won't good vegan food.
They
though.
went as hold on, bro. That's not the point. That's not the point.
You're eating vegan food. They probably just threw some carrots in the cell, bro.
That's not the point.
I'm just saying, like,
Dude,
you know,
are
they did
crickets
not have a chef back there. Like,
It's
cooking
not
up some
about-
vegan
that's
food.
not
I'm
the
just saying,
point,
they're like-
Robin.
they're like,
If
okay,
you-
sure,
if you
give
go-
them-
hold
give them
on, let me
triple
speak.
mashed potatoes and don't put the meatloaf on there. That's what they did.
Mashed potatoes are not vegan, first and foremost, because they're
Well,
made with butter.
you're right.
Just listen 1 second. Just let me speak. If they went out of their way to cater to his dietary restrictions, who knows what else he got?
Maybe they made that mashed potatoes with almond milk.
How did he get extradited so quickly? Was he supposed to be there till February?
Because Bahamas is trying to get some.
Why were they in
Bahamas
such a
got
hurry to
lot
bring him
of-
to the U.S.?
Bahamas they're a small country, and if they can make some money or get favoritism by falling in step in line with the U.S. regulation, I'm sure they're like, hey man, you still want that newest bond that you're trying to use to build a new highway or whatever it is? Remember. Who do countries borrow from? They borrow from the U.S. U.S. is the largest issuer of bonds in the form of like government loans.
They're not lending. They're
selling bonds.
They're lending to the U.S.
But anyways, you don't want to piss off the U.S. Right? And the U.S. is like, yo, we want SBF over here. You literally thought that Jamaica was, the Bahamas. You thought the Bahamas was going to be like, you know what? We're going to say F you. We're going to keep this guy here. We don't really care about your policy. Like, hell no. Like, you thought that was a possibility? No chance. No chance. Like, they were going to fall in line in a heartbeat.
Okay. Junior Giles said, U.S. Magistrate Judge Gabriel Gorenstein said that the risk that Bankman-Fried would flee was small and said he presented no danger to the public. Well, we'll see. We'll see his risk.
I don't think he poses a danger to the public. I don't think he's going to go out there and attack anybody.
Who are we talking about? Sam?
Yeah.
Who's he going to attack? You going to hit
That's what I'm
someone with
saying.
a pillow?
Like, yeah.
Gonna hit you with that beanbag?
His hair.
He's soft, man.
He's gonna cut off his hair. And anyways, so this is the SEC. They're giving some clarity.
Do you think
Just
is
read,
there
read the headline, Robin. The SEC is giving us clarity, guys. You gonna read the headline?
Yes, the SEC calls FTT exchange token a security.
Wow. Thank you so much for that clarity, Gary Gensler. and
This whole
Securities and
time I
Exchange
thought it
Commission.
was 100%
Me
decentralized.
too, man. Well, I thought it was a
What?
commodity.
It's
Thought it was a
not?
metal, man.
Damn it.
That's crazy. Thank you so much to our to our Securities and Exchange Commission
It only took
for clarifying this
it
for
only
us.
took the insane printing, the loss of $8 billion, the collapse of the second largest exchange, and the fraud of millions. Also, the
Biggest
Justice
in
Department
history.
issuing 6 different charges, and the SEC offering 2 charges for them to finally say, "Oh, you know what? I think it is a security."
Yeah. You know, we have the right people in our corner, guys.
We do.
And can we get a round of applause for the SEC, Kyler? Thank you. All right, so this article says FTT token was sold as an investment contract and thus as a security, said the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. And they went on to say, if demand for trading on FTX platform increased, demand for the FTT token could increase, such that any price increase in the token would benefit holders of FTT equally and in direct proportion to their holdings. The large allocation of tokens to FTX incentivized the management team to take steps to attract more users onto the trading platform and therefore increase the demand for and the trading price of the FTT token. FTT's buy and burn program was also mentioned. This initiative, used by many other exchange tokens, is akin to a stock buyback where revenue from FTX would repurchase and burn FTT, thus increasing its value. Now, all jokes aside, obviously, a little too late on this one. But what does that mean for the other exchange tokens, Robin? BNB, Crow token, OKCoin.
Oh, they're all in the
Leo.
question. They got to all be questioned, right?
I mean, could this change the landscape of? I mean, this is a real concern to me, at least. Like, are we going to see BNB just have to, I don't know, register as security or just completely cease?
Well, BNB ain't gonna. The thing is they're not gonna register as securities. That's the catch here. You know what I'm curious about is that every person that promoted FTT is now illegally promoted a security. That is a federal crime. So you're even though we're fans of the show, but Anthony Pompliano. Like, is there going to be some accountability for him? Not to say that it's justified or that he should, but I'm just saying that if FTT is deemed a security and you promoted a security, then are they going to go after those people? Like, I'm curious. And, we're fans of BitBoy. He got a letter from the SEC. Is that maybe what it's about? Promotion of a security, which is FTT token? I don't know. I mean, it's all just speculation, but I'm just saying that, like, are they going to hold those people accountable? It wouldn't surprise me if they did. And so it's interesting. And if that ends up happening, can you backdate somebody's promotion to cover something they didn't think was a security at the time? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, hey, when I promoted it,
it was
fair game. And then later on, it gets discovered that it was a security. Does that change my intent at the time? Because my perception, my intent at the time that I did the promotion was that it was a decentralized platform and I was duped in the same way that the customers were duped. I feel like they should have a pass. That I don't know. I don't know if they would go after those people. I'm just saying that it dawned on me that the SEC could have an avenue or a path to go after celebrities and, maybe Tom Brady, maybe Steph Curry. And it's not just a civil lawsuit that we're seeing, but maybe the SEC's like, yo, you were illegally, or maybe Kevin O'Leary, right? You think Kevin O'Leary's free of any kind of
I mean, I don't know. He was an equity investor.
Now, what if Kevin O'Leary was aware of some fraud and he just turned a blind eye to it? I mean, he was a spokesman for the company. At some point, I'm sure somebody probably came up to him and was like, hey, man, they're doing some shady business over there. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised if people that had, I mean, you heard the Justice Department guy. What was it? I don't know his name. Anyways, the gentleman that we started the show with. He was saying that
Southern District of New York.
If you had any involvement, come talk to us. And what I'm curious about is the involvement going to be to the promoters as well?
Of course it is.
By the
I mean,
Justice Department?
I don't. I don't know.
That's
Definitely
what I'm
by.
saying. Like, do you think there will be charges
Definitely by
brought
SEC
out
for sure.
against people that promoted FTX? Do you think that Tom Brady could be facing a federal indictment?
Hey, the Pong May said the MLB promoted FTX. I mean, is the MLB going to get sued?
I mean, so did the Miami Heat. Their arena literally
He brings
had
up a good
FTX
point.
on that. Like, yeah, but then again, they're promoting the exchange and not the token. So that also, and I don't think Tom Brady or Steph Curry ever said FTT token. They were talking about FTX. So maybe that's where you'll draw the line, is that if you're promoting FTT, which is a security, versus FTX, maybe that's where we have a differentiating side. Now, real quick, I just want to say a couple shout outs. Guy D, Mike Warren, can't get right. Insta Paradise, threat to himself, Iden, Sean M. We got Christopher Zen, Darren, Adam Clark. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, we got Pong as well in here.
BG said, "Can you add a ticker somewhere so I can see some numbers?" Well, I have good news for you, BG. Your wish is my command, because we are actually looking at the markets now. A smidge under 800 billion for the coin market cap. Bitcoin 16.6, ETH 1191. Nothing's really changing. Everything is either flat or up or down 1% or 2% at the most. I want to go over here. This is pretty interesting. So this is the top 100. You can see the change 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, year to date, and the volatility. Obviously, Bitcoin, right? The first one we're going to look at. Over the last 3 months, down 14.4%. Year to date, down 64%, and the volatility, 3.2%. Take a look at who's the biggest loser over the last 3 months. You have XCN, followed by Near, Solana, and Chiliz. The biggest losers in the last 6 months, same except Decentraland has taken a worse beating than Near Protocol. And year to date, obviously, Luna, Solana down 93.1% year to date. And as far as volatility, XCN, followed by Flow at 25.4% of volatility, Filecoin, Chiliz, and Toncoin. We do actually have some news regarding Chiliz. I'm going to hop over here to the coin market calendar. A couple of things I want to highlight here. We'll start with Chiliz since I kind of ended on that. They are doing their mainnet 2.0 launch. It'll be called Scoville, I believe. Scoville. So what's going to change here? You're going to be able to, when will it go live? Q4 of this year, supposedly. When was the date on here? It was December 31st, so New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, it'll go live. Staking will come at a later phase. Interact with one of the, or what is the purpose of the testnet that will be later deployed on the mainnet. They're opening up to, they call them Chilizens, like citizens, but to kind of test it out.
Chilizens,
yeah. And so,
come on, man. These people are stupid names, bro.
It's their community, man.
I ain't hating on the community. I'm just hating on the choice
name of the community,
the choice name for the
whatever.
representative.
Chiliz is a cool project. And then the other one I wanted to highlight was Casper. They are doing their Signer V1. And so a little info on that. The next version to add support for Web3 gaming and NFT marketplace for musicians on Casper. So if you're interested in those, something to follow.
Also, if you're interested in price targets, I know you were talking about the ticker. If you're just curious about our market in general, we do got Magic Internet Money in the chat. He's been over here chatting away with the community, so we always appreciate you visiting us. And he does have a pretty badass channel on TA, so go check him out if you want a little bit more insight on numbers as well. So.
Yeah, we like Magic's TA. We like Magic. Are you a Magic fan? Just like Magic, like voila.
No, because it's all fake.
Fake news.
Yeah, it's like
it's an art. It's the illusion of art. Art of illusion.
Entertaining. You know what? I'm more of a fan of up close Magic. So
you know who I met? Matt Franco.
Like,
very nice guy.
Like here's
Matt
the thing:
Franco's
if you got
cool.
a stage and you got like tigers and smoke and
He's a
mirrors,
vegan.
like I'm not that impressed, honestly, because it's more of a show.
Cheers.
But you know what?
Believe you.
If you get the chance to hang out with a magician, because here in Vegas, every once in a while you run into them, and they're just like over here hanging out with you, you drinking a beer, and you just start like making things disappear in front of you and like taking your wallet. You're just like, oh, that's cool, man. How'd you do that?
People love
They're
it.
like, where's my
bro.
money?
It gets old fast. Being a bartender
What's their
and
Scoville
watching.
rating? I said, what's their Scoville rating? I don't know. It's pretty spicy, I heard. I want to hop over to DeFi. DeFi is getting absolutely crushed. Total value locked for DeFi has gone down to. If we go to the overview, that's gone down from a height of $180 billion to $39 billion in total value locked in all of DeFi. If we go chain by chain, we can see Solana is out of the top 10. Their DeFi total value locked is down 17% over the last 7 days. Still, you have ETH coming in number one, 5 times, 6 times the amount of the next highest, which is Tron. It was Binance, and now it's Tron. Is Tron something to keep an eye on, Robin?
No. I mean, if you're driving down the road and you see like a tractor on fire, you're usually going to slow down and keep your eye on it. Maybe, yes, there, but guys.
Oh, that was so funny.
The founder, Justice Son, he's
a little crazy.
Something else. And I'll leave it at that. And on top of that, the stablecoin thing, him buying out.
You were going into some long. No. Sorry, I don't know. That was so funny. All right. And then rounding out, we have Binance Smart Chain Arbitrum, which is also obviously ETH. Polygon. Man, I am so excited to see what Polygon is going to do in the next bull market, guys. I'm not saying go buy it. I have a crap load. I continue to DCA in. I'm just stoked, man. I'm excited. All right, let's look at some on-chain metrics here. We're hopping over to Glassnode. We're going to go full screen on the laptop so you guys can see what we're looking at here. So this is Bitcoin shrimps versus whales. In gray is the price of Bitcoin. Blue is addresses that hold 0.1. Orange, addresses that hold over 1,000 Bitcoin. And purple, addresses that hold over 100. If we zoom in, you can see the trend. Obviously, the super shrimps, the one with at least 0.1, that is continuing to make
super shrimps.
Super shrimps, yeah, continuing to make all-time highs.
It's called a prawn, bro.
My bad. We've seen a slight dip recently from the 100 Bitcoin wallet holders, and then obviously the mega whales over
industry's lifeline during
over 1,000.
My bad.
That's been going down. That's been on a decline, steady decline since March of this year. So retail is continuing to pile in. Larger ones now, of course, guys, this can also mean that people split wallets. Let's say a wallet had 1,000. Now they split it up into 10 wallets that have 100 in them. That could possibly be to the decline, but we're going to assume the more macro side of things. And then taking a look at Bitcoin and ETH shrimps. Blue is ETH price. Gray is Bitcoin price. You have the lighter colored blue here. The line that's pointing up is ETH addresses with more than 10. Orange is Bitcoin addresses with more than 1. If we zoom in, both have been trending up, but it's kind of been flip-flopping. So we're currently sitting at, let me see here, 351,000 addresses that have more than 10 Ethereum and almost 1 million addresses that are whole coiners, have 1 Bitcoin. And so we're seeing this trend continue in Bitcoin, in crypto, as the large money, the whales, as they are selling, retail is there scooping up, which if you think about it, you want steady in the markets, you want a good balance of retail and institution. The more retail you have, the more level it's going to be as far as price movement and the volatility. All right, I want to just take a quick peek at the Bitcoin chart. I ain't no magic internet money, I ain't no Forrest, but hey, I do okay. So we had this. This is the 4-hour on Bitcoin. We had this uptrending channel. We did break to the downside. I got the fib levels on here, and you can see we should come back and retest this lower trend line here, and it eerily coincides, kind of, depending on where you land, with the 38 level and a 28 Fibonacci level, 23 and 38 Fibonacci levels, which would put us right at 17.4 and 17.6. I don't know, man. Are we breaking out of 18K anytime soon? And when I mean breaking out and staying above for any considerable amount of time, 3 days, 4 days a week.
Not within the next 3 months, no.
It's going to be boring, guys.
Now, I think that perhaps, when you get tax returns, generally that's economic, we do well economically.
Stimulates,
yeah,
supposedly.
As far as the macroeconomics, at least here in the U.S., and so could the rise of the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, could that rally and in turn that spillover carry over to crypto? I think it's quite probable, actually. And so I think that would be a good time for a bounce. Even if we were to retrace down and scrape the 15K mark or something, I do think that bare minimum we're going to be getting a relief rally in the next coming months, and I think that kind of times out pretty well there.
I want to conversate here real quick, and Chad, I want you to chime in on this conversation. Rob, what would you say if Mr. Beast was named the CEO of Twitter? Would that excite you? Because Elon said Mr. Beast is not out of the question to become the new Twitter CEO.
I mean,
Mr. Beast is a
but
beast.
Mr. Beast, he's all in on YouTube, man.
He is.
And
what if
you
he
know
integrates
in
YouTube
his
into
interviews, he's went out and said that he has no interest in other social media platforms. And I guess that's more or less about his own brand and where his content is going to.
The dude's an entrepreneur, man.
Yeah, I mean,
he's his Beast
pretty
Burger
genuine,
restaurants.
man. He doesn't really care. You know what's sad? You know what's kind of strange though is he kind of has that Sam Bankman-Fried mentality as far as his lifestyle, and that
but he puts his
like
money where
drives
his
like
mouth
crappy
is, bro.
cars or whatever. You know, and I think he said he gave in because at some point he was living in the ghetto for quite some time.
He lives in a studio, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's so messed up that we can't really take people at face value, but it is what it is.
Right.
I guess anything's possible.
But well, you know how we got there, right? Is that social media or not social media, that media in general had propped up Sam Bankman-Fried to be the hero. They painted this picture. And here's a good example here. I'm going to pull this up here. If you got my volume on my laptop here. Here's a little insight of how we got to where we got when it comes to media.
Sam Bankman-Fried is really becoming the industry's lifeline during a crisis lately.
I'm fascinated, endlessly fascinated with Sam Bankman-Fried's role in all of this.
You've been now described as the JP Morgan, if you will, of the crypto business.
A lot of people called you the savior of crypto, the patron saint of crypto.
The Michael Jordan of crypto, if you will.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the JP Morgan of
Fried. SBF, JPM.
Do you know SBF? I think it's cool that the guy has just initials, SBF.
Some on Twitter calling him the hero right now of the industry. There's comparisons to Warren Buffett back in the financial crisis. Or if you go way back, JP Morgan in the panic of 1907, bailing out the banks before the Fed was even created.
Sam Bankman-Fried is trying to play the role of JP Morgan. The original JP Morgan.
One key figure we've talked about has emerged to help stabilize the ecosystem. That is Sam Bankman-Fried.
We talk about him a lot.
Yeah.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Is he the Jay Gould of our era, or is he the JP Morgan of our era?
I think it's yet to be determined.
Is he Vanderbilt?
He could be.
Is he Harriman?
Possibly.
Is he the Credit Mobilier scandal?
Is he Carnegie?
The aforementioned 29-year-old gazillionaire, FTX founder and CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. I love you, Sam. I'm just jealous. It's nothing against you.
The CEO, though, lives a relatively understated life. For a billionaire, he drives a Toyota Corolla to FTX's offices
like
in the
hobbit.
Bahamas. He lives with 10 roommates and a golden doodle named Gopher. Sometimes sleeps under his desk on a beanbag chair as well.
You aim toward a more sophisticated level of investor than some of the other platforms do. Fair point?
Well, Sam, thanks so much. It's such a fascinating conversation. That's Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX.
Sam, don't be a stranger. We love you here on CNBC. Come around, talk to us more often about your thoughts. A lot of other things to talk about.
Don't be a stranger, baby.
Checking in with you too, Sam.
You know, part of me, like, I get it, right? It's not just mainstream media that was touting him. It was people in the crypto space. I mean, I've said some positive things about Sam in
his
the
head
past.
got so big, and he thought he was invincible. And a lot of it comes from the industry's most recognizable figures, at least in the media space, and also in Congress, saying, "Hey, man, you are the shizzy. You know, you are the man. You know, you're the dude. You're the next JP Morgan. You're everything that our space needs. You're a godsend." And dude got so his head got so big. He was like, bro,
thought he was invincible.
He's like, I'm gonna take over the world, and I'm gonna steal money from everybody. I'm gonna steal money from the Pope. I'm gonna steal money from the president. I'm gonna steal money from Ukraine. Like he just thought he was invincible, bro. And you know what? Social media got some, the media, these media conglomerates, they got something to do with it. It's partially your fault.
You know who blew
I'm not saying you did it intentionally. I'm just saying that you blew this man's head up.
You know who blew the initial whistle on FTX? It was Ryan Salame, one of his executives. Remember the one where like, oh, there was also donations to the Republicans. It was this guy. That was him. All right. I want to go over something real quick with our community. Guys, if you're not following us on Twitter, do yourself a favor. Go follow us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. A couple things I want to highlight really, really quick. First and foremost, either myself or Robin will be on this Twitter Spaces. Make sure to join us. This is hosted by Kelly Kellum. Also, I was, Marcin, he's a local, he runs Note 40 out here. We had Gary Cardone on the show. Me and him did a 45-minute drive interview. It was pretty cool. Just some outside perspective into kind of Sin City, myself. It was a good conversation. Go check that out. Also, though, this Twitter thread, guys.
When you get a moment, will you put that link in the chat for the YouTube for that video?
Yeah. Go read this thread, okay, by Jason Choi. It's a long one, but it's really good. This guy was in the know. He was in the whole raising money. He was in the group of people that knew about FTX Alameda. He breaks it down from beginning to end, what happened. I mean, such an amazing thread. He said, I met SBF before FTX started and witnessed their rise and fall. I can't stand the New York Times puff piece. I retweeted this on our page. And also go follow Mr. Jason Choi. So a couple things I just wanted to highlight for you guys.
I'm curious on what you guys think about me, you're talking about New York Times and puff beefs. Do you think that media should be held accountable for what happened with FTX? Do you think there should be any accountability for media, or at least like put it out there? If you think media has some responsibility in FTX's collapse or rise and collapse, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that, hey man, they're just covering the latest news story and they just got it wrong, put a 2 in the chat. I'm curious to see if you guys think this is the fault of media. I think they do have a key role.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question, Rob?
So do you think that the rise and fall of FTX is at the fault of media? Or at least it was...
Okay, that's kind of a weird question. Do you mean...
Or do you... No, I'm serious, man. And so our video that we played here, you can't deny that media had painted a picture, and it also gave this illusion of a secure, well-run organization that, hey, look at this guy. He's driving a Honda Accord, he's driving an Accord or Camry or whatever it was. And, this guy, they just babied this dude, man. And they made it seem to people watching CNBC, watching Squawk Box, watching Bloomberg, watching CNN, that he was the picture perfect company and CEO of crypto. And I think there is some blame there. And so what I'm saying is, do you think there is a significant amount of blame? Do you think there's a cause for us to question the media's motives? Or do you think they're just simply covering news and they just covered this guy and they got it wrong?
Dave Digital said media always has a role.
So 1, should we hold media accountable? 2, hey, they're just doing their job.
Bullish made it to hodler level too.
You know what? No, I don't like him. Cancel him. He said
you mad because of the finger tornado?
He is literally my biggest hater, but I still like the guy for some odd reason. I don't know why.
He comes in here all the time. He's beautiful.
Like, damn it, Kenny. I hope I get to meet you one day, my friend. If you're new here, please say hello. We'd love to give you a welcome.
So we kind of split down the middle on the 1s and 2s. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I don't have a comment. I think media can amplify a situation to either side.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Look.
Do you think that SBF paid media?
Yes,
to cover him.
Of course, he
in a
paid
certain
media.
Way?
It's
then that's exactly what I'm saying.
But that
They
happens
should've-
all the time.
But
Robin, that
SBF
happens all the
gave-
time.
If SBF gave CNBC millions of dollars,
Robin, it happens all the
to paint a
time.
picture that hey,
It
I'm
happens
this
all the
great guy.
time.
I'm safe. Our company's safe and secure. Here's $40 million. Do a nice little story on me. Is that any different than the FBI paying Twitter to hush up the other side? It's the same narrative. And that's
If
illegal.
you go down that rabbit hole, Robin, you're going to uncover it like so much. Like it happens all the time, bro. But here's the thing. I have always been in this camp of we should like the first thing you should do when something goes wrong is look in the mirror. Don't point fingers. And so when you make a bad investment, don't say those guys scammed me. Say, okay, why did I invest? What was my research like? What should I have done better? What red flags could I have seen instead of being, he scammed me, right? And so I'm a true believer. You look in the mirror first before you start pointing fingers. And so no matter what is out there, it's our job, what information we decide to take in and do with it as what we decide to do. So yes, did media have a role? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's not, they can't make us listen. They can't make us believe them. They can't make us trust them. That's up to us. And so, yeah. All right. I want to keep the content moving here, my friends. So one of our champion senators, Pat Toomey, he is going to be done. He is retiring from the Senate after this session is up. Sad to see him go, man. Sad to see him go. But he introduces a last-minute stablecoin bill as the congressional session wraps up. Republican Senator Pat Toomey, who's set to retire from Congress at the end of the term, he has used one of his last few weeks in office to introduce a new stablecoin bill aimed at creating a regulatory framework for payment stablecoins. If passed, the bill would permit non-state and non-bank institutions to issue stablecoins as long as they obtain a federal license created and issued by the OCC, and as long as the stablecoins are backed by high-quality liquid assets, aka U.S. Treasury securities. The stablecoin issuers must also comply with new public disclosure standards, clearly outline redemption policies, and provide regular attestations from authorized accounting firms, aka audits. The bill would exempt stablecoin issuers from securities laws, so as long as they don't offer interest-bearing products or services. Investor protection is also embedded in the bill, with it stating that in the event of an issuer's insolvency, so if Tether goes insolvent, stablecoin holders will be the first to be reimbursed, which is perhaps the most notable difference between this bill and the earlier bill that he introduced in Congress in April. Rob,
That's a good.
That's decent, right?
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
decent,
Man.
bro.
I like
That's
the
mid.
starting from the bottom up because
Starting from the bottom, now we're almost there.
But you know, the problem is if you do start at the bottom, if there is insolvency issues when it comes to a stable coin and there's exposure from an institution and they say they're owed like say billions of dollars and they don't get paid back, but the common investor does, it does increase the likelihood of a contagion effect spreading from one industry to the other, from one business to the other.
Now, Rob, is that
I'm not to say that that's the right direction. I'm just saying that you don't get, if there's not enough money to go around, you can make an argument. Hey, who deserves the money more? Just know that there's cause and effect for both. I agree,
scenarios. but don't you think that's actual investor protection? Is if it goes insolvent, the holders of the stable coin.
But what about all the clients in the
what?
companies that go on under that are associated or that have leverage or that were simply just holding they weren't taking what they thought
if you're
was
a
risk.
holder of the stable coin, then you would be the first to
but
get it back.
But
if you made an investment in Tether the company, you fall back.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that is it better to let other companies go under and affect their customers and their users because the biggest companies didn't get paid back because it went to the individuals? Or that hurt more people at the end of the day? What if a big exchange like KuCoin, like Kraken, has billions of dollars in Tether and they don't get paid back and they have to go under and they have to
Well, they
halt
would
trading?
be considered holders of the stable coin, though. I'm assuming, right? anyone that, so if you're an exchange or a person that holds a stable coin, if I understand this correctly.
So what would it be? Just the bonds?
So let's say if you're an
just,
investor
like,
of bonds, or if you're an investor in Tether, you would fall back.
Okay, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
But again, we don't know the full scope, obviously. But hey, Pat Toomey, everything I've seen from him so far.
Just a little shout out and intermission here. We got some new people: Angelo Jalden. We got Overcome, Paul Clinton, Ange, Country Crypto, Quinn, Pete. We got Junior Giles, Quinn again, Richard B, After Hours Investing, and then we got Thomas Rice. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Someone put it in the chat about, well, okay, what about the media after they knew Sam was a fraudster? Should they be liable for that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm putting into question. If you knew that...
Highlight that chat, Kyler, if you find
because, you know what? The New York Times put out that puff piece. They knew that people lost money, and yet they still held back and tried to paint the man in a different light than what was actually going on. It wouldn't be no different than if all of a sudden CNN or CNBC did a piece on the drug cartel in Mexico, and they were like, hey, these guys are donating so much money. They're such a great organization. Like, that would be absurd. That wouldn't be okay, right, David?
Yeah.
If the Mexican cartel was being advertised as a great company by mainstream media, right?
Of course not.
Exactly. So if another company is doing fraud and it is widely known and you cover that company in a favorable light because you're getting paid, there's a problem with that, man.
I got no issues with that comment. You know what I do have issue with?
What?
Not really an issue, actually. But we have some more news regarding Core Scientific. And so they may sell their facilities that are under development. So this is from Forecast, Core Scientific. And of course, if you missed the news yesterday, if you missed the show, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They are not planning on liquidating any of their ASICs, but they are going to sell some of their mining facilities that are under development that could be worth up to 1 gigawatt of power. And so what does this mean? It will only consider selling facilities under development that were planned to go online in 2023. It doesn't plan to sell existing mining sites that are worth up to 850 megawatts of power. Company said in a statement on Wednesday that it will continue to operate its existing self-mining and hosting operations, which remain significantly cash flow positive on a debt-free basis. So what they're saying is, if we didn't have any debt, if we didn't have any payments we have to make to our debt, then we would be cash flow positive.
That is so absurd. That'd be like me saying, hey, you know,
if I didn't have a mortgage,
if I didn't have a mortgage or a car payment and I still had my car in my house, I could live a pretty decent life. You're like, go figure. Like, of course, if you don't got to pay no debt, if you don't got to pay your loans back on the ASICs, you borrow money to buy the product that you use to generate money.
Yeah.
And now you're not paying it back, and you're going to come out with a statement and say, hey, you know what? We are turning a profit. I mean, just saying, like, stop. That'd be like me buying 100 Tesla cars and then running a taxi service and then not paying back any of the Tesla cars and then be like in front of the judge.
I'm in
like,
a good spot, guys.
Hey, we are making money here. We're turning a profit. After I pay the drivers, we do make money, and after gas, electricity,
gas. Teslas don't have gas, Rob. You know who does have gas? I have gas. And so with that being said, we are done for today. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, wrap up the poll. Let's see what you guys thought. What was the question again? Should they be a security?
Yeah, should they be registered as security?
Should they have been registered?
Security. Okay. 56% said yes. 44% no.
So does that mean, okay, so that means
closer than I expected.
Then you think every other exchange token should be security? Crow.
Well, are they being, but here's the thing. BNB is... They have a deflationary mechanism.
Which is what they highlight, but that's what they highlighted in the thing, Robin. The SEC literally said the buyback and burn thing, right? They highlighted as one of the reasons why it's a security. I don't know. Look, when we say the contagion is not over, just because Sam is in jail, the contagion is not over. I think in the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to see a big move in either regulation or something coming from the SEC or from our politicians in Congress, here in the U.S. at least. All right, guys, go check out our social media at Sin City Crypto 1. Did you drop the link to that video, Robin, in the chat? No? Okay. It's on our Twitter. Go on our Twitter if you want to see the video I did, the interview in the Porsche. Pretty cool Porsche. I was very big for the Porsche. Go watch that. Support us. Also, come join us on the Twitter Spaces. We're joining either myself or Robin. We don't know who it is going to be yet. But. Merch, yes, the Don. The offer. You can't refuse. 10% off for everyone until Christmas. So you have 3 more days. And also, if you're a Well member, you get a special 15% off until the same time. Not just Sin City crypto merch, but also just regular crypto merch as well. Go follow us on all the socials and go join us on our Discord. With that being said, Kyler, friends and family. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Thursday, one day before Friday, which is Forest Friday, which is the weekend. On behalf of myself, Robin, and Kyler, thank you guys so much. We love you.
3 days till Christmas.
Yay! Jesus Christ. All right, we're out. See you guys later. See you tomorrow. Bye. Library coin, straight to yen. Bail, go to yen. Pat Brett, good show. Thank you, my friend. Pat, we appreciate you always being active in the chat. Thank you so much.
NFTs, Bail.
Digital Dave Digital, thank you. Cindy La Uruguacha said, gracias, chicos. Muchas gracias, chica. Mucho gusto. Señor Tornado Blue. Come on, Dave. I already got one. See you later, Kronk. Jason S. HPL. Peace. Kylie needs an emoji. Yeah, maybe we'll get Kyler an emoji. What do you think, Rob? We get Kyler an emoji?
We need more members. We don't have enough members to reach to make another emoji.
All right, be a member. You want an emoji? Pay $3 a month to get an emoji. All right, see you later. Peace.